Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella. I know you guys haven't heard from me in a while. I have been taking a bit of a sabbatical. Been doing some goodwill work overseas in Africa. Been helping people out, hurricane victims down south. Who am I kidding? I haven't been doing any of that stuff. I've been sitting on my couch. I've been drinking beer. I've been watching TV. I've been doing pretty much nothing other than work. So yeah, sorry, just been lazy. It's the off season. Wasn't much to talk about. Not going to sit there and speculate like all these other jabronis on who the Steelers are going to take when it's friggin' February and you haven't even had the combine or anything like that. I'm not getting any of that crap here. Today, we're here to talk about the Steelers. We're here to talk about LeVeon Bell. We're here to talk about the franchise tag and what it could mean possibly for Pittsburgh moving forward. Now, as we all know, any Pittsburgh Steelers fans know, the Steelers, LeVeon Bell, have been doing this dance for over a year now. Will he get the long-term deal? Will he get the franchise tag? They ended up going with the franchise tag last year. Lev Bell sat out all of training camp, preseason, showed up, I think maybe a week before the opener. Came off to a little bit of a slow start for the year. Finished strong. A lot of people want to point to his average yards per carry down from 4.9 to 4.0 this year. But if you look at the last 12 games of the season, it was somewhere right up around 4.9 again. So really once he started getting it going and got his legs under him, pretty much back to the way he was. A lot of people complained he never played a full season, which is a bit of a lie because he did make it through a full regular season in his second year, but he got hurt in the playoffs. But he made it through the full season all the way through the playoffs this year. People were mad. People were calling him greedy. People were saying, how much money do you really need to live? Blah, blah, blah. All that jabroni crap going on. Bottom line, this is America. In America, you are able to make as much money as you possibly can. It's a free market. LeVeon Bell is, if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 running backs in the whole entire world, okay? That's what you people fail to realize. Oh, I do this at my job, but I don't get paid that. Are you the 3rd best, whatever the hell you are, in the entire world at your job? No. Are you the 3rd best ice cream cone maker at Dairy Queen? No. So that is why you don't get paid like LeVeon Bell gets paid. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. It's just jealousy. It's all jealousy. If that's your argument, oh, I make this, I do this, what does he do? He plays a game. You should just shut the hell up because all you are is a jealous jamoke. It is ridiculous for somebody to say it's just a game. They've never worked a day in their life. Do you not realize what it takes to become an NFL player? Are you that stupid or thick-headed? These guys work hard from the time they're in freaking pee-wee football, man. They eat right. They work hard. They train. They play high school football. They play college football. They put a lot of things in their personal life on the back burner to be able to do this. To say that's not work, you are just an idiot and you don't even deserve to be able to comment on anything anybody's talking about. So I don't want any of those comments here. If you're going to comment underneath here or on our Facebook page or on our Twitter page at bet_the_spread, I don't want to hear that because you're just an idiot. LeVeon Bell is top 3, in my opinion, the best running back in the whole entire world, okay? Yes, I get that the other running backs in the league don't make as much money as he does. 8.25 for Devontae Freeman, $8 million for LaShawn McCoy, 6.7 for Leonard Fournette. Now let's sit down and think about that for a second. Just because the running back market isn't high doesn't mean it shouldn't be high, okay? And this is what I mean. The position has become devalued over the years in the eyes of the media. And I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I think tight end is the only position on the offense where the franchise tag value is lower than running back. That's just absurd to me. I'm sorry. I know the Patriots and the Eagles, they were in the Super Bowl, running back by committee, blah, 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 blah. It took both those teams a long time to find 2-3 good backs that went together to be able to work like they did. Lev Bell feature back, can do everything. He runs well, he blocks well, he catches well. I mean, he literally does everything, all right? So people are complaining he's going to get $14.5 million this year. Freeman's making $8.25, McCoy making $8 million. Now, Devonta Freeman is the little bit of exempt from this list of what I'm going to talk about. He's the exception, not the rule here. Okay, Freeman is getting paid a lot of money, but Freeman isn't the number one reason the offense does well down in Atlanta. They have Matt Ryan, they have Julio Jones, they have a lot of other pieces around them that make that offense great. But when you look at LeSean McCoy in Buffalo and you look at Leonard Fournette in Jacksonville, okay? So LeSean McCoy's making $8 million this year. Tyrod Taylor made, I don't know the exact numbers, but I can tell you it's somewhere between $17 and $20 million because that's about the average salary for a starting quarterback in this league. So he makes between $17 and $20 million. He sucks, but LeSean McCoy makes $8 million, and he's pretty much the entire offense. Even though he doesn't catch as many passes as other backs, the passing game only works because the defense has to worry about LeSean McCoy. Is it really fair that Tyrod Taylor, who sucks, who throws interceptions, who gets benched, who may not even be the quarterback next year, makes double what LeSean McCoy does when LeSean McCoy is the entire reason that offense goes? I say no. So you can sit here and say, this guy makes this guy makes that. You have to take a lot of different things into an account there. I understand that LeVeon is not the focal point of the offense. People talk about Big Ben and AB and Juju and Martavis, and you were starting to get a little out of the tight ends moving forward or towards the end of the year last year. But think about this. Antonio Brown makes $17 million a year, roughly, to touch the ball 10 times a game. Again, roughly. Obviously, some games more, some games less. LeVeon Bell wants $15 million, and he touches the ball 25 to 30 times a game. So why is Antonio Brown allowed to make $17 million and touch the ball half as much? But everybody hates Lev Bell because he touches the ball twice as much and wants less money. I just don't understand this. How is this logic not registering in people's heads? LeVeon Bell is worth every dollar the Steelers give him. I understand that $15 million, $14.5, what he's asking for, it sounds absurd. It really does. I get it. I know what you mean. But is it not absurd that Leonard Fournette is only making $6.7 million for the Jaguars when people wanted Blake Bortles run out of town last year in Jacksonville because he was so bad? What would that offense have been without Leonard Fournette? You think the Jaguars make it anywhere near as far as they did without Leonard Fournette? The answer is no. It's just no. Ezekiel Elliott. He's making $6.2 million average per year. He is the entire Cowboys offense. You saw it this year when Dak Prescott started to struggle when Elliott went out for suspension. Without Elliott there, the young Prescott was pushed into things that he wasn't comfortable with, and the offense wasn't as good. So people can sit here and say it's not a running back league anymore, it's a passing league, blah, 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 blah. The bottom line is, yes, it's a passing league, but when you have a running back the caliber of a Le'Veon Bell, a Devonta Freeman, a LeSean McCoy, a Leonard Fournette, an Ezekiel Elliott, you do not let these guys leave your organization, okay? The Steelers are very good at knowing when to let a veteran player go, and I think they're smart enough to realize right now that it's not the best time to get rid of Le'Veon. Their window is, while Roethlisberger's here, about 3 more years, and keeping Le'Veon around is important to help that factor. Now, I know a lot of people saying, okay, we're going to go back here real quick. The running back by committee thing. Get rid of Bell. You can sign a bunch of defenders and sign some NFL free agents or draft one. I agree you could probably find a back in the draft because there are a couple good ones, and it's pretty deep draft. But here are a couple free agent running backs for you. Jonathan Stewart, Doug Martin, Darren Sproles, Eddie Lacy, Shane Vereen, Frank Gore, Rex Burkhead, Isaiah Crowell, Jamal Charles, Damian Williams, Terrence West, Alfred Morris, Dion Lewis, LeGarrette Blount, who obviously we're not going to bring back, Jeremy Hill. I mean, are any of these guys jumping off the page at you? Crowell, okay. 25 years old. Had some talent. Maybe he just struggled because the Browns were terrible. He would be an interesting choice. But you're not going to go out there and just find another LeVeon Bell, because there is only one LeVeon Bell. And now let's move to the defensive side of the ball. Okay, don't sign Bell. Draft his replacement. Let's go out and rebuild the defense. That's what everybody's chanting. Rebuild the defense. Rebuild the defense. Guess what, everyone? The defense has been rebuilt. It was perfectly fine until Ryan Shazier broke his back, and then the defense sank. They still needed some depth players to keep it one of the great defenses, but they had the core there. Hargrave, Tuitt, Hayward, Dupree, Shazier, Watt, and you had Williams in the middle, who to me is but then you had Joe Hayden, Sean Davis, Artie Burns. I mean, I know none of those guys had spectacular years on their own, but everybody's saying rebuild this defense. The defense was in the top 10 in almost every major category. There's no rebuild needed. They need middle linebackers. Yes, 100%. They need to find a way to replace Ryan Shazier, who, and I know everybody's going to try to burn me down for saying this, the salary they have to pay Shazier this year is handcuffing this team more than the salary that they have to pay Le'Veon Bell. I'm not saying they shouldn't pay Shazier. It's the right thing to do. They have to do it whether or not it's the right thing to do, because they signed him for the 5th-year option. But at the same time, you're paying him to do nothing when you're paying Le'Veon Bell to be 45% of your offense. But yet people think Bell's contract is the one eating up the cap. So I don't like that argument. So now we're going to go here. We're looking at some middle linebackers here. Get rid of Bell's $15 million, draft a running back, and then we can sign a middle linebacker and a safety. Okay, so here's your middle linebackers. Brian Cushing's 31. Derek Johnson, 35. Kevin Minter, 27. Gerald Freeman, 31. Todd Davis, interesting guy at 25. Navarro Bowman, no thank you at 29. Zach Brown, another interesting guy at 28. He was one of the league leaders in tackles. He did not lead the league, but he was close to. He got shut down at the end of the year with an injury. He would be an interesting guy, but I kind of see him as being able to break the bank here on day one of free agency, and we all know the Steelers aren't going to do that. They never go out on day one and sign a big-name free agent. They usually wait till day 2 or 3, get a guy flying under the radar that they think suits, what they do well. You got Demario Davis at 29, Carlos Dansby at 36, Will Compton, blah, 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 blah. I mean, come on, guys. Who's out there? You want to re-sign Sean Spence? I mean, there's not a lot of good middle linebackers out there. You can't just go out and grab one. I know you have the opportunity in the draft to get one. Not a whole lot of first-round talent at that position that's still going to be available when the Steelers pick at 28 or wherever the hell they pick this year. It's just not there. Now, free agent safeties. Okay, I like this one. Free agent safeties. Eric Reed from San Francisco, probably the biggest guy that I would want to go after. He's 26 years old. He plays very well. He could play strong safety. You could move Sean Davis to free safety. But again, no way that's happening. Eric Reed's going to break the bank. He's probably going to get the biggest contract out of any of the free agent safeties this year. The Steelers aren't going to be the team that gives it to him. I'm also hearing now that the Steelers are probably going to keep Mike Mitchell because he's a Mike Tomlin favorite. So don't even expect to see Mitchell gone. You're going to see the same exact secondary with Burns, Mitchell, Davis, Hayden, and Sutton and Hilton mixing in as well. But as far as the other free agent safeties, you got Morgan Burnett, Ron Parker, Quentin Demps, Reggie Nelson, TJ Ward, Tyvon Branch, Nate Allen, Darius Butler, Marcus Gilchrist. I mean, do these guys sound like much better than what we got? Maybe better than Mike Mitchell. Yeah, sure, I agree. But are we going to be able to get him at any less than what we're already paying Mitchell? If you cut Mitchell and sign a guy for as much or more, you're not saving salary cap, you're adding salary cap. And there's no way you get a starting safety and a starting middle linebacker for the 14.5 that LeVeon Bell wants per year. And the other part of it is a lot of people hating on Bell saying, oh, you're not going to take the 13.3 that the Steelers offered you. That's average annual salary. They can give him a salary structure where it's not a lot in the first year, but pays him in the back end. And LeVeon Bell is also looking for payment for what he has done. Yes, last year he got paid a buttload of money. Not going to deny it. Over $12 million last year, somewhere around there, to run the football for the Steelers. But at the same time, they're running this guy into the ground. All the touches he gets, he deserves to be paid somewhat for what he has done, because the rookie deal for a second round pick, you get paid almost nothing, and this guy was balling for the Steelers. So some of the signing bonus that he should get in a long-term deal should go in good faith towards what this kid has done in the past. And you can hate on me, you can call me a homer or whatever you want. I really don't care. I'm looking at the salary cap calculator right now on Over the Cap, and when you punch in Le'Veon Bell's salary, it has the Steelers somewhere over the cap at around $6 million over. So you're going to have to see a lot of things done to rework this structure. But at the same time, it's got to be done. I mean, you cannot let a guy like Le'Veon Bell go. And then also what I mentioned a couple minutes ago here, if you bring Bell in on a long-term deal, his cap number is not going to be 14.5 for the first year. It's just not. They'll give him a huge bonus, and they'll be able to keep it somewhere down around like $8 million or so, or maybe even less. As far as a base salary. I'm looking at Antonio Brown's base salary right now. It's only $7,875,000 for the 2018 season. So all the bonus money and everything is what boosts his cap number up to 23 or 17, I'm sorry. So there's a way to get this deal done. I feel like the Steelers should be making a better good faith effort. I totally understand why people can view it as Le'Veon being greedy, but it's just not the case. And when you get all the facts laid out in front of you, if you still want to say he's greedy, that's fine, but then this isn't the show for you, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's your opinion. I'm not going to tell you you can't have it, but your opinion sucks and you're an idiot. Le'Veon Bell is perfectly deserving of all the money that he's going to get here, and if the Steelers don't give it to him, they're stupid. They put the non-exclusive tag, I believe, on him, so it's not the tag where, you know, people can offer him contracts and he would leave for compensation, 2 first-round picks or whatever. But the Steelers do hold the cards where if Le'Veon decides not to sign till the last day like he did last year, they could wait for a while, rescind the tag, and then Le'Veon would be stuck in la-la land because all the big money free agents will already be signed. Not saying that nobody would sign him, but he definitely still wouldn't get the money that he's looking for now. The Steelers know this. They've been negotiating a lot longer, so they're going to try to squeeze him. I get it. But at the same time, I think both sides need to just kind of humble themselves a little bit. I think Le'Veon deserves total value of what he wants, and I think he's being stubborn about the average annual value. And he's trying to reset the market for running backs, which I get, all those things I talked about earlier. But I think the Steelers should do something to give it to him. Don't just cave. You don't just cave and give him whatever he wants. That's not how a good organization runs. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm saying he's deserving of what he's asking for, and there's a way to do it and make both sides happy, and both sides need to get on it and do it. But to me, it's more on the Steelers, especially since Le'Veon's proven to be an amazing player. He has the most yards from scrimmage per game in the history of the NFL in the years that he's been in the NFL. So, I mean, if you're not paying him for something, you got to pay him for that. Anything. $14.5 million seems like a lot of money. It really does. But if they structure it the right way, they keep the cap hit low in the first 2-3 years, then Ben Roethlisberger retires, you lose his $20 or so million cap hit, then Le'Veon Bell's cap hit doesn't seem so high anymore. There's a way to make it work. The media is trying to paint Le'Veon as greedy. People are biting on it and running to the fake news and believing in it. If that's what you want to do, that's your prerogative, but that's not what we're going to do here at The Spread. We support players who want to make as much as they can. The shelf life is short. This is America, man. You make as much money while you can because there's no guarantee you're going to be able to make it tomorrow. And as far as their football career goes, these guys aren't making anywhere near close to what they do in the NFL in their life after football. So you need to get it while you can. That being said, I think I've rambled on now about 20 minutes, so I don't think anybody else is going to want to listen to me. If you have any comments, if you want to tell me I'm an idiot, feel free. Hit me up on Twitter at bet_thespread. Hit me up on my personal page at betjimtowin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Comment below on YouTube. Share it with your friends. Share it with your mom. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your postman, your butcher, your baker, the candlestick maker, whoever you want to share it with, man. Everybody loves it. Keep the spread going. Feeling alive. Ball.